In the annals of history, few tales captivate the imagination as profoundly as the story of David and Goliath. This ancient narrative, originating from the biblical book of Samuel, has transcended time, symbolizing the triumph of the underdog. But while the traditional retelling often focuses on the miraculous element of David's victory, an exploration of his strategic prowess provides a fascinating insight into the tactical wisdom that delivered him the upper hand against the mighty giant, Goliath. Imagine standing on the battlefield of the Valley of Elah. On one side looms the Philistine champion, Goliath, a behemoth clad in shining bronze armor, wielding a spear as formidable as his reputation. On the other side stands David, a young shepherd, seemingly fragile in comparison, with nothing but a staff, a sling, and a pouch filled with stones. To the onlookers, the battle seems uneven, a mismatch destined to end in the giant's favor. Yet, the outcome would defy expectations, and the secret, it seems, lay not in divine intervention alone, but in David's sophisticated understanding of physics and psychology. At first glance, a sling might appear to be an improbable weapon against a giant. However, in David's hands, it became a tool of remarkable precision and power. Slingers in ancient warfare were comparable to modern-day artillery, capable of launching stones at speeds exceeding 100 kilometers per hour. David's choice of weapon was thus far from accidental. It was the result of his experience as a shepherd defending his flock from predators. His decision to use a sling was rooted in tactical advantage, allowing him to strike from a distance without coming into close contact with his massive opponent. Moreover, David's strategy was predicated on mobility and speed, attributes which would neutralize Goliath's advantages of strength and reach. Lightly armed, David could move swiftly, avoiding the encumbrance of heavy armor that would have hindered his agility. This stark contrast to Goliath's cumbersome armor was not a sign of weakness, but rather a demonstration of strategic foresight, as it enabled David to exploit the one vulnerability Goliath possessed, his reliance on close-quarters combat. There was also a subtle psychological edge employed by David. Goliath, expecting a traditional hand-to-hand duel, was unprepared for an opponent who would break from convention. David's atypical choice of weapon and his audacious confidence challenged Goliath's expectations and psychology. By refusing to engage on Goliath's terms, David shattered the Philistine's aura of invincibility, thereby inducing a moment of hesitation and surprise, critical openings in the heat of battle. Finally, there is a profound lesson in the power of strategy over brute force. David intuitively understood that effective combat is not merely about physical supremacy. Instead, it involves an acute awareness of one's strengths, the opponent's vulnerabilities, and the environmental factors at play. His victory serves as a timeless reminder of the efficacy of intelligence and adaptability in overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. In conclusion, while David and Goliath's story is often narrated as a miraculous triumph of the weak over the strong, it is equally a narrative of astute tactics, brilliant strategy, and psychological acumen. David, the shepherd, revealed himself not just as a young warrior, but as a brilliant tactician who leveraged his skills and insights to defeat a giant. This tale, eternally captured in human consciousness, encourages us to rethink what constitutes true strength. It is not merely a tale of divine intervention, but also an affirmation of what can be achieved with resourcefulness, strategy, and nerve. Indeed, behind the humble slingshot lies a wealth of timeless tactics, offering inspiration and wisdom for generations past and those yet to come.